I'm gonna hit record. We are recording. Sweet. Welcome to D&D. Okay, all right. So let's see. Last week, you ended. You had fought a couple of little grickies, little grick creatures, little squigglies.
Yep.
I believe Taz did stranglehold on one or two of them, perhaps, as y'all just took turns batting it about until it croaked. So I don't think you guys took a long rest after that. I don't know that anyone even took, well, wait a minute. You took some damage. Yeah, you did.
I took about half damage, yeah.
Yeah. I forgot about that.
I could use some rest and or help.
You guys are in this little hallway. This little hallway here. And let me do that just to make it look a little fancy. You guys are kind of in this little hallway here, and
yes.
There was a couple of pathways that you discovered. If I close this, man, I hope it doesn't. I don't think it will. I'm going to close something, and if it kills the whole thing, then I will it'll be a natural one for me, but I don't think it's going to do it. And it didn't. Okay, good. So that's good. Yeah, so you guys were in this hallway. You'd moved some logs out of the way here. You made it in here. You got kind of pinch removed. I think it was you, Elisar, that got pinch removed. I think that's why you took it.
Yep.
It was a kind of a surprise attack. They almost emerged from the stone. You didn't even see them until it was too late, and they were on you. And they emerged from the stone, did some damage, but I don't believe you guys rested. You did notice that there was another stack of, kind of a healthy stack of, logs and things like that on the far end there. And I think you decided that you might go south into those tunnels and just kind of see what's what.
Yeah, since we're in a pretty good place, I mean, that we're kind of barricaded, at least on one side. If we could take at least a short rest, or if a long one, if everyone else needs it. I'm hurt pretty bad.
I am 100% fine.
I'm fine too.
Show us.
Patrick, do you have another character ready? No, take a short rest. You can take a short rest. You roll your hit dice. Add that you're level 5. That might do it. To use, obviously, let the dice will decide how well how rested you are after your short rest. But hey, no, I didn't. I just had a brief scare that I left my dog outside. I did not, though. What about this crazy weather, man? It's like 75 degrees.
Right?
What the heck?
Yeah, I took the top down on the Jeep and went cruising.
Nice. I know. I let the top down in the Mini. Just let all these long locks fly since I haven't had a haircut since last February. I don't see any haircut in my future either. Although my wife was like, "You need a haircut," so that's usually the determining factor.
Get a haircut, you hippie.
Yeah, exactly. I've been watching a lot of rock and roll YouTube videos. Like I've gone down the Rick Beato rabbit hole, and now I'm watching Steve Luthica and all the guys from Toto, and and how they like played on George Benson's records and played in Michael Jackson's records. I was like, what? My mind is like blown. All these studio musicians out in LA that were so prolific, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, with Luther, check out, he played on a couple of Alice Cooper's albums all the way through.
Did you really?
White Room and stuff, yeah.
These guys are amazing. It started with Steely Dan. I'm gonna say it. I'll just put it out there. Once you get going down that track, it's hard to come back. Like, oh, for the audiophiles out there, man.
Yep.
When the other musicians are like, man.
Yep.
All right. So short rest. Did you roll your hit dice?
Yep. I'm okay, but I'm not great.
All right.
For now.
So you have 2 pathways here, as you and just a quick recap, super quick. I think I don't need to go into too much detail. The zombies were in that kind of far tavern room there. Maybe on the other side of that tavern room, there were 3 of them. The guy dipped out of some sort of portal or something in that very far room. But you're still sort of in this dungeon. You've got these set of keys, some things, your dots are being drawn. They're not quite being connected, but there's something definitely amiss beyond just a random orc stronghold here that you've kind of stumbled upon. But you're down here in the bottom now. You're in this dungeon. You've kind of figured out that maybe there was something being blocked for a reason. Maybe not. But you've discovered a couple little gricks that attacked you. You would know what those were. And now you're going to kind of see what's what inside these tunnels. See if there's something else.
Could you describe the tunnels to us, Ryan? How big? What they look like?
These are like 4 to 5 foot wide, but rough hewn. This is not. These don't look necessarily man-made. They look like they're bored out, perhaps by some burrowing creature. They're not jagged. They're fairly smooth, and but they're not right angles either, right? They're sort of like tunnels that both of them sort of drop and then angle kind of to the southeast in the same general direction. But you have 2 from which to choose. Notice how I didn't end my sentence on a preposition there, Connor, student. Not to choose from, but from which to choose. So which one do you want to go down?
Well, leave it up to the team. As long as we go 2 abreast, I will volunteer to be in the back row with someone else.
I would like to be in the back row too.
Connor and I are bringing up the rear. If you want to take up the front, guys.
Yeah, Gibner would be happy to scout. Hey, are these tunnels dark, or is there any light coming from them?
They're pretty dark now. They're quite
okay.
In fact, these are dark. Yeah.
About how wide and how high are they?
These tunnels they're about 4 to 5 feet wide. They kind of vary in that range. Height-wise, they're maybe 6 feet. They don't go up to the ceiling of the dungeon. And in fact, one of the tunnels is kind of off the ground and kind of opens up. And there's one sort of on the ground and opens up, and there's one sort of off the ground a few feet, almost like a tunnel just in the wall there.
Okay. So the tunnel, let's see, we're coming down the hall. And we turn the corner and we see where the hall gets barricaded. Yeah, so where your cursor is. Gibner's going to light his bullseye lantern.
Okay.
Put out a little light into the tunnel, and he'll start scouting ahead.
Okay. All right. Just so I don't give away the suspense here of the moment.
It's a hooded lantern.
Okay.
I'm not sure what I said. The hooded lantern.
Yeah, I'm not sure either, but that will work just fine. All right.
In fact, part of what he'll do is he investigates the tunnel near the opening.
Okay.
Is he's got some ball bearings. He'll drop a few in the tunnel, let them roll down the tunnel, and listen to see if he hears anything.
Yeah, that's a great idea. So yeah, as you roll, it's sort of, you don't hear anything other than the ball bearings kind of rolling down the tunnel, and you kind of can see towards the end. It's dark. I guess, what's the range on your lantern? What's the distance?
Let's see. 30-foot radius.
30 foot.
Bright light for 30 feet, then dim light for 30 feet.
You can see that the tunnel sort of opens up. It doesn't stay sort of compressed. You see that it sort of opens up, and you can maybe barely see a back wall in a cave. It's like looking through a small narrow entrance into a cave, but you can tell that it kind of opens up, and you think you can see a far wall.
Okay. I'll relay to the group that appears to be pretty short. Short tunnel with a big opening, and I'll make my way down.
All right. You make your way down, and you sort of find yourself. Oops, see. It's a little premature. I need to share it first.
I've been talking the whole time. Oh,
That's funny. Sorry, Elazar. I didn't know that you were talking.
That's the secret.
Oh, sorry, buddy.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. It's like mute.
I had asked, is anyone going to follow Gibbs going down this tunnel?
Yeah, I'll go.
I'll go third. Harlan, you want to bring up the rear?
Yeah, I'll bring it through here.
All right.
Okay. Yeah, you guys sort of make your way into this tunnel. It's essentially, you find yourself in this chamber. It's been excavated in kind of the rocky ground. This is not part of. You can tell this is really not part of the dungeon anymore. You're sort of under the earth, kind of outside of the stone. The hewn stones, the cut stones that make up the basement, if you will, of the dungeon. You don't see any clear-cut signs that this is actually stone. This looks like almost like it may be solid earth or a very, very rocky soil. And you see that there's all the tunnels are sort of circular. They're kind of exiting. You've got one to your east and one to your west of the floor of this chamber that you've kind of entered as you shine the light. For those that don't have, I always ask. I can't remember. I don't think whoever has dark vision or who doesn't, but the half elves have dark vision.
Yes, to 60 feet. Or no, I'm a high elf. Sorry.
High elf. Okay. High elf and half. So high elf. Harlan, what are you? I forgot. You are.
I'm a human. I do not have it.
You do not have dark. Okay, so you're definitely using the lamplight as well as Gibbs. What about Elisar?
60 feet.
Okay. So those with dark vision, you can see pretty clearly that this is a chamber. You can kind of, as you're looking in the chamber, you see the kind of the floor is littered with gravel, stones. There's some debris here as well. Can't quite place it. Maybe some chunks of metal, maybe some chunks of wood. Certainly looks like almost like trash though. It's just been left behind in this chamber. What are you guys gonna do?
Want to go east, guys? I'm easy. As long as we take the same order. Gibbs, you want to pick one?
Sure. Gimner's going to head to the east and shine his light down that hallway.
Let me get my mouse right here. This tunnel here?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, again, you kind of get to right about here as you shine your light down, and let me reshare so you can see what I'm talking about. Yeah, you see it kind of makes a bend, and the light doesn't go much past that. This tunnel seems to be a little on the larger side than the one that you entered into.
Does it appear to be descending or ascending or pretty level?
It seems to be pretty level. It does kind of rise and fall. It may be descending ever so slightly. Make a perception roll.
I think I figured it out. It's coming. I'm using my old iPad for digital dice, and it's
nice.
A little slow on the response. Okay, I got a 10.
Yeah, it's hard for you. You're sort of an amphibious creature, and this is subterranean a little out of your element here. It's kind of hard for you to tell if you're ascending or descending. Anybody else that kind of has that interest can make a perception roll as well.
Yeah, LSR is going to go for it,
Okay.
And he's going to see the exact same thing Gibner does. I barely see Gibner's back.
Can't quite tell.
No.
Harlan, you have an interest, or are you?
Yes, Harlan got a 12.
Yeah. Again, it's a little subtle. I take it. Taz is just ready to just.
Yeah, I'm
hew
just
into the
kind of
wall.
twiddling my thumbs.
Yeah, exactly. Going. Where are we walking towards here, guys? Do you want to keep going? You see that it kind of makes a bend, and your lamplight doesn't really shine past the bend, other than it makes a bend.
Yeah, well, I'll move forward stealthily.
Okay.
Even though my light isn't very stealthily.
Yeah, that's gonna. Yeah, that's.
Would you believe the sun is rising down here? It's not adventurers at all.
Yeah, exactly. Something punched through from the surface again. Give me 1 second to pull something up real quick. I just want to make sure that. So now that I've got my two screens, I'm like, man, this is one of those things. Tips for running online games: multiple screens are nice. Just for anybody watching and running an online game, or virtual game, I should say. Nothing replaces the physical in person, but this is much easier to have multiple screens, because you can take a look at things and not have to. Of course, I also have all my books behind me here, but give me 1 second to read something real quick. Okay. All right. You're gonna try to stay stealthy. You do have a light. So in terms of your foot, make a stealth check though. Maybe you can sort of do some sort of a. It's gonna be tough.
Okay, I got a 25 on the stealth roll.
Yeah, so other than the light, there's no noise coming from you. Yeah, there's absolutely no noise. Everybody else is kind of walking with you though, and everyone else make a stealth check.
21 for LSR.
Okay, that's pretty quiet.
I'm rolling. And
18 for Harlan.
17 for Taz.
Yeah, you guys are all being very, very quiet. You all doing a fine job with your stealth.
Ryan, while we're walking, is there any way I could have a ready action? Is that possible or not?
That's an action in combat. So
yeah.
since you're not in combat yet, you can be on your toes and sort of be prepared. You did just get attacked kind of out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you might be on your toes anyway for that reason. But it's also, it's sort of like I might be on the lookout for copperheads as I'm walking through my backyard, but doesn't mean that one can't just come out of nowhere. Just an analogy. Not that that's about to happen to you. Anyway, let me see. So you guys are gonna keep walking forward.
Yeah. Hey, Ryan, I want to just mention something really quick. And Daniel, this may be a question for you. In Blood Curse of the Eyeless, if it's success, well, it's going to be successful, right? But it says amplify. If I amplify it, I apply this curse to all of the creature's attack rolls until the end of the turn. You roll a new Hemocraft die for each affected attack. Does that mean then if I'm first in the order?
No,
it attacks on me, right?
Yeah,
But it's not the rest of the team.
Let me I'm gonna have to look at it.
Because if it is, I apologize greatly.
We can
But
consult
whenever
the rules.
you do use that, to amplify it, you have to roll the Hemocraft die and do that damage to yourself.
Okay, that's right. Okay,
That's what the Hemocraft dies are.
right. Okay.
And I think yours are a D6.
Yep, they are D6.
What's your character's name?
Elisar.
Elisar. There we go. All right.
Sorry, I didn't mean to slow us down there.
No, you're fine. I'm having to check on Kona. He's barking at something. I just want to make sure he's okay.
Okay. So normally, when a creature you can see within 30 feet of you makes an attack roll, you can use your reaction to roll 1 Hemocraft die and subtract the number rolled from the creature's attack roll. You can choose to use this feature after the creature's roll, but before the DM determines whether the attack rolls succeed. The creature is immune if it is immune to blindness.
Okay. So I think I've been doing it wrong then in the fact that I still need to roll a Hemocraft die for damage against me as well as to the attacking creature.
No. So the
That's what I
Hemocraft
think.
die to damage you is your Blood Maledict.
Okay.
Hold on. I gotta, because it's such a short description on here.
Yeah, it is. Oh, yeah, it is. It's just so it is. If I choose to amplify it, that's when I lose the 1d6 myself. Okay.
No. Okay. So if you amplify,
Yep.
you have to roll the
Hemocry.
Hemocraft die for each attack.
Okay.
But when you normally do it, you have to roll the Hemocraft die regardless.
Okay.
Which is that in Volos? No, not Volos. Is that in?
No, it's Matt Mercer made it, but it's
Oh, okay, okay.
it comes with D&D Beyond. You just automatically can see it.
Oh, I got it. Okay. All right, you guys let me know Patrick, if you've got it you think you've got it sorted.
Yeah, we'll figure it out the first time I'm going to have to use it, which will probably be about 5 minutes.
If no, this is just a tunnel, just a harmless little tunnel. As what could possibly go wrong with a harmless little tunnel like this? Marching order, I believe, is Taz and Gimner up front, and Elisar and Harlan pulling up the caboose, kind of.
Okay, I got it.
Yeah.
So the way that it works is you can only use it once per short rest.
Oh.
Yep. Oh. Okay.
Because it's your Hunter's Bane.
Ah.
So you just took a short rest.
Maledict. Hold on, sorry.
Okay.
One blood curse of your choice. Blah. The end of the learn one additional blah. You use your blood maledict. You choose which curse to invoke. While invoking a blood curse, but before it affects the target, you can choose to amplify the curse by losing a number of hit points equal to 1 roll of your Hemocraft die. So you only do that if you're amplifying the curse.
Right. And it looks like I've got the number of times per short rest based on my level. And if I'm 5th level, that would be 2 times, right?
No. You only get it once. You beginning at 6th level, you can use your feature twice. 13th level, you can use it 3 times, and 17th level, you can use it 4 times.
Yeah, I don't see me getting there, but okay.
The thing that you can use all the time is you can use your Crimson Right, and that you use the Hemocraft die to activate it, and then you add 1d4 damage to your melee weapon, whichever one you chose.
Okay. Gotcha.
But yeah, just once per short rest, and then if you want to amplify it, it's for every attack the creature does until the end of their turn.
Gotcha.
But it's not the end, it's not the start of your next turn. It's just until they finish a round of combat.
Okay.
So yeah, as we get through this, we may have to just sort of slowly check the mechanics along the way. If there's something down here, I mean, it's probably just, a puddle or
Not
a stalactite, a stalagmite, perhaps. As you descend, now the descent feels palpable, I guess, if that's the right way to. I mean, you're perceiving a downslope now, just as you kind of continue down this opening, and your lamplight shows that the opening is getting larger as you're moving towards this space, and you can see just already as you're walking a big pile of rubble kind of to the south of this opening as you're kind of getting there. Already you can get a sense as you're getting closer that the tunnel is getting much wider here than it was when you first entered. And as you're kind of looking across the lamp is shining, you can see that it's also a much larger, it seems to be like a much larger opening than the one you were just in. Continue forward.
Yeah, let's keep going.
Okay. Give me just a sec
As
here.
Obi-Wan Kenobi would say, let's spring the trap.
Let's go, as Celine Dion would say, let's go for it. Hey, let's go for it. All right, so let's see. I'm going to do this. Okay, yeah. As you walk in to this chamber, it's pretty massive compared to what you've been seeing. This heap of masonry rubble on the south was just massive, right? That does look like it might be some holdover rubble from when the castle was first constructed. It's difficult to tell. It looks almost like the same material. Maybe it was dug out of the castle at some point in time and left here. Large pieces of kind of this stone lie in other parts of the room, big chunks of stone. There is some rainwater dripping, filtering from above, so the area feels very damp. And you can almost hear the doot, doot of rain just over the millennia, I guess, sort of filtering in and just kind of dropping, but one drop at a time. And on the ground, there's a stalagmite that is building up from the floor where that raindrop has kind of hit. Those raindrops have hit and sort of built up this mineral deposit over time. There's a blanket of kind of dimly lit, dimly glowing, phosphorescent kind of mold covering parts of the floor. And as you kind of look around in this area, I'm assuming you guys are kind of walking into the space. You notice there's some eggs, some fairly large eggs, and you've seen egg shells before in the upstairs of the castle. In fact, the shaman had some eggshells in the tower where he lived, the orc shaman. And these eggshells, those eggshells and these eggs look very similar in terms of their color. What do you guys want to do as you look around this room?
So Ryan, what else I would like to do is take the maybe climb. See how loose is that rubble at the bottom of the thing?
It is. Yeah, it's hit or miss. It's sort of packed in places. It's loose in places. Of course, like
how high up does it go? Is it able to be traversed?
It's probably, I don't know, maybe kind of angles up to about 4 feet, and you could maybe kind of scramble up it. I mean, it's a massive pile. I mean, these are 10 by 10 squares, so it's
I would like to try
30 square feet.
I'd like to scramble up it, starting at the south pit, and go forward as Gibner goes forward, and trying to be as stealthy as possible.
Okay, make a stealth check on this with disadvantage because it's a little loose.
11.
Yeah, as you start walking up the pile, stones begin to dislodge, and a few of them tumble down, making some noise.
Okay.
All right. Anyone else have any ideas of what to do as you're sort of going through this section?
Harlan's just going to keep an eye out, just to make sure there's no kind of things moving in the rubble or anything.
Okay. Taz or Gimner?
Gimner will just keep slowly walking forward, shining light to illuminate what's up ahead.
Okay.
We'll keep listening and watching as he goes.
All right. Taz?
Taz is going to be right back. He's got something to do real quick.
Okay.
So he's, I guess, standing there, which is fine. I'll follow a couple of feet behind, not many, 3 or 4 feet behind Gibbs as he moves forward, with both hands out, ready to go with a cantrip or two. Okay.
Did Taz put something in the chat? Is that what was going on? Is that what
BRB.
Okay, I see it now. I was wondering why when I'm sharing my screen, the little panel, like it dropped down. I was like, what am I doing wrong? Oh, I see BRB 10-4. Okay.
I'm glad you saw it. I didn't see it.
Yeah, I know. I was like, am I doing something wrong? So I'm going to take this opportunity to continue with my undry February. Close your eyes, Connor.
All right, I'm back.
All right, Taz, did you hear the description of the room with the phosphorescent fungus?
I heard there was eggs. That's all I got.
Okay, yeah, and they're fairly large eggs. They're kind of a funky color. They're sort of this aqua, almost like Easter colors, but they're like that, that aqua version of the Easter egg. So
Are they round like insect eggs, or are they oblong like reptile eggs?
They're oblong eggs, and you have seen the skin of these eggs before in the shamans. If you remember, I don't know if your character remembers that or not, but the orc shaman had some egg shells in his domain in that upper tower. They look very similar. Harlan, I'm sure you would have recognized that.
Okay.
Some of the group, so Elisar has sort of scrambled on this masonry. He's dislodged some stones along the way, so it's made some noise. Gimner, I think, is moving kind of furtively through the chamber. Harlan, you're sort of tracking behind Gimner, I think, kind of hugging close to him since he has the lamplight.
Yes.
And Taz, you were the next up in terms of what is your action, or what are you doing as you're kind of walking through this cavernous chamber, very large, very high ceilings.
Are the eggs just kind of like in bundles, or are they kind of spread out?
There's like a bundle of eggs. In fact, let me see. There's like a bundle of them sitting on the fungus, that sort of glowing fungus, that green mold. Sorry, I said fungus, mold. I guess it's the same thing. They are. There's about 6 or 7 of them, but they're almost kind of in a group.
Okay, I'll walk up to the group of the eggs and just crush one, see what's in it.
Okay. As you crush the egg, you hear a shriek, and I need everybody to roll initiative.
What's happening?
The shriek doesn't come from the egg, just so you know.
Gimner got a 7.
A 7?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Harlan got an 8.
Oh, you guys are rolling on fire tonight. This will be great.
23.
All right.
Not to worry, I have another character in the wings.
I've only killed one character, so well, let me rephrase. One character has died this whole campaign. We played 19 sessions so far. That's not bad.
I got 14.
Okay. I think that'll work. As you crush this egg, to see kind of what's in it, out of pure naturalistic curiosity, I'm sure, almost like David Attenborough style, right? Just to see what's in the in the egg.
Here, the baby wyvern likes to stay.
Yeah, exactly. And here we are inside the cavern. And suddenly comes barreling out of seemingly nowhere, just emerging from the stone itself. Been there the whole time, just watching as you guys are moving through, is a very large version of the little squiggly guys that you had met in the bend of the proper dungeon. It's massive. It is just sort of lunging towards the group. I'm going to go ahead and annotate a bit just to kind of give you guys a spatial sense of what's what, but maybe we can try some theater of the mind and see if that works.
Are we talking graboids here?
Talking
Graboids, tremors, like big.
Yeah, not purple worm size, but right. It's kind of coming around the corner here. Ooh, that's a lot wider than I thought it was going to be. Let me undo that. It's kind of coming around the corner this way. And if you guys want to annotate, you can. Otherwise, we can just you can kind of tell me where you're at as this thing's going to be moving and attacking as we're going through this. So,
if you want to just maybe put a dot, Ryan, where you did like you did before.
Okay.
Maybe? Would that work? So
I'm going to give you a dot, and I'm going to give you kind of a red dot. You're up here on this?
As high up as I could have gotten without, tumbling back down.
I'm going to put you kind of back here then.
Okay. That's cool.
Okay. And then does anybody else want a dot for where they're at, or are you guys okay with just sort of describing? It's up to y'all.
Yeah, you can throw me a dot.
Okay. So over here was kind of the where the fungus kind of was, close to where these stalagmites had grown, and sort of right kind of in the middle of this chamber. So I'll put you there, Taz. How about you, Harlan and Gimner?
Yeah, you could put me down.
I think you guys.
Maybe towards
kind of
the back of the cave almost.
Yeah, and Gimner, I think you were walking with him, probably in the lead.
What did you describe? What we saw screeching?
Yeah, it is a very large version of what you encountered in the bend of the hallway. Give me 1 second, and I will just give you something to look at real quick. And
what did we encounter? Grix?
Grix.
This thing just kind of emerges, looking a lot like this. Massive. Can you see the creature, the Grick? Yeah, these like 4 massive tentacles, huge beak. This one has a real massive muscular tail, much larger than the one that you encountered in the hallway. Think aliens. The little guys that run around, but then there's the big mama. That Ripley so enjoyed. So that's what you're kind of up against here. And I'll go back to the location so you can kind of see. Oh, I think I lost the annotation when I did that.
Oh no!
Shoot. That's all right. We'll be real quick to get it back. Okay. I say it'll be real quick to get it back. Let's see. Yeah, I think so. It usually doesn't disappear like that. That's funny. All right. All right, so Gimner, you were kind of in the lead here. And Harlan, you were kind of walking kind of right on his back shoulder. Taz, you kind of squashed some eggs here.
I was up the pile.
You were up in the pile. Kind of up in here somewhere.
Yep, that's good.
And then an angry, large, just comes flying off the back wall. But Elsar, you have a turn. You are now in combat. This thing is angry and vicious.
Now, when it came out, seemingly out of nowhere, right?
Mm-hmm.
It seemed to be almost like activated, if you will, by Taz stepping on, crushing the egg. Is that right? That a pretty fair assessment?
That's a fair assessment. Yes.
I'm going. So he's pretty much the creature is pretty much going towards Taz.
Totally going towards Taz.
I'm going to hold my action.
Okay, you can take the ready action now.
Yep, and as soon as it attacks one of my party, I'm going to use a cantrip. I'm going to hold my attack.
Okay.
I just want it to pass me, so I can attack it from the rear.
Okay. I accidentally closed out my browser. So remember what I was saying about how nice it is having two windows? It's like, I don't know how I did that. Give me 1 second so I can pull the stat block. And while I'm doing that, Taz.
Yep.
You're up.
I would like to rage.
Feel free to rage away.
And I would like to turn and face this big old Grick.
Okay.
And then I will swing my glaive at it.
Go for it.
I will do that recklessly. Uh, 21 to hit.
21 hits.
Okay. So some damage on my first one. That would be 11 plus rage damage. 13 points of slashing damage.
Okay.
And 7 points of radiant damage.
Okay. 13 points of slashing, 7 points of radiant.
Mm-hmm. And then
Okay.
I will take my second slash.
Alrighty.
That's a natural 20.
Ooh.
Like that.
Nice. That's always a good thing.
Except when you roll it.
Yeah, exactly. Let me make that bigger so that it works.
I thought it
out.
was going to automatically do my crit, but it did not automatically do the crit. Okay. All right, here we go. And that's going to be 19 points of slashing damage.
Ooh.
Sorry, that's wrong. 21 points of slashing damage.
Okay.
Forgot my rage damage.
Nice. Yeah. So yeah, you just cut into this thing. As you're cutting in, you are sort of, I don't know, make a animal handling check or something along those lines.
An 8.
Okay, never mind. You just cut. You just chop into them. All right. It's after you hit it, you're sort of facing up against it, right? You just jumped and just chunk. LSR, you're still up on the rubble. And you two guys here are just sort of, as you hear the screech and hear the engagement, you probably are turning to see what's going on, I would imagine. Mm-hmm. This thing is going to just, since you just hit it, Taz, it's going to come right after you.
Now, I've got a waiting action. Can I attack before he does?
You can take your action.
Okay. And I'm going to Eldritch Blast.
Okay. Roll the hit.
And +4. Ooh, 16.
16 misses.
So, Sorry.
Eldritch Blast goes flying, but you have 2 of those now, right?
Yes, and I'm going to use this. I'm going to use the second one right now. I get 2 attacks. At the 5th level, get 2 attacks per turn. My second one also misses.
What would you roll?
9.
Yep. Yeah. Again, just probably are sliding a little bit on the rock.
Yep.
A little shaken. The Eldritch Blast scope right over the Grig's head, smashes into the wall behind it. Now, Taz, it's going to turn to you, and it's going to first swing its tail. It's going to bring this tail around and just try to whip you with the tail.
Okay.
Ooh. Critical fumble table, anyone? It's a good night for the group. I'll deal with this one first.
Let's see. I've got one handy.
Let's do it. I'll roll the
what glasses here?
D100. And Patrick, this was the dice that you gave us for Christmas one year, by the way. So that's you got. It's coming back to help you out. 43.
43. You have lost your mental bearings and you need to recover.
Oh.
You cannot take any more actions, movements, or reactions for the rest of the round.
Ooh.
Then at the beginning of your next turn, make a DC 10 Wisdom saving throw. On a success, you may take actions, movements, and reactions as normal.
Okay.
On a failed save, you are still recovering and can try again at the beginning of the next round. Keep repeating this on every failed saving throw.
Oh my gosh, DC 10? DC 10 Wisdom save?
Yeah, so for this round, he really can't do anything, like no actions, reactions, and then at the beginning of your next turn is when you make the Wisdom saving throw.
So it just, as it sort of came off the wall, the sound of the cracked egg has it just completely discombobulated. It also sees the lamplight, the Eldritch Blast flying over its head. It swung its tail and just completely whiffed and doesn't know really which way anything is at this point. It's completely out of sorts. It's screeching in frustration and can't do anything else at this point. Harlan, you're up.
All right, Harlan is going to cast Witch Bolt at 2nd level.
All right.
And that'll be a 22 to hit.
That hits.
And then that's going to be 9 points of lightning damage.
Oof. All right. And now you also have the Witch Bolt attached to this thing now, right?
Yep.
All right. Yeah. So you do your 9 points of lightning damage, just arcs into it. The creature just shakes as its tentacles are sort of flying around. Does that end your turn there?
It does.
All right, Gimner, you're up.
Gimner. All right, Gimner's going to take a step closer to that wall and try to set the lantern down where it won't get kicked or knocked over easily. And then he'll turn and about how far is that creature? Is that about what?
20 feet.
30 feet?
20, 30 feet, probably from the wall, about 28 feet. I mean, it's
in range.
Thrashing about.
He'll launch one of his psychic blades.
Okay.
At this shrieking monstrous worm thing. And 13 to hit.
13 misses.
Okay.
And does that end your turn there, Gimner?
He's going to use this movement.
Okay.
And he's going to move towards the north a little bit.
I can move you, I think, here.
Yeah,
okay.
You're fine, right?
All right. Elisar, you're still in the rubble.
Yep. He's going to Eldritch Blast again. Just
go for it.
Twice, mind you. A 15 and a 24.
24 hits.
All right. 7 points of damage.
Force damage, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Yeah, it's a big hit. It just, the body, as the force hits the body of this creature, it sort of just ripples as it's sort of thrashing about. And Taz, it's right in front of you.
I'm up.
You're up.
All right, I will attack recklessly.
Go for it.
25.
That definitely hits.
Okay, that's going to be 8 points of slashing damage and 8 points of radiant damage.
Okay.
Then my second slash is 23.
That hits too.
And that'll be 13 points of slashing damage.
Okay.
And that'll end my turn.
Let me do some math real quick here. Some cheap math. I'm using my calculator. Okay. That ends your turn. It's its turn. It needs to make a wisdom save.
Yep, DC 10.
All right. Oh, sorry. Roll dice. Okay. It rolled so that's 20. So he made the save. Now read me again what happens once he makes the save. He can get back into action.
He's back to normal.
He's back to normal. So like the force damage sort of shook him. He's kind of slashed, and then it's completely got its bearings back again. This is its domain. This is its chamber, its lair. It's no longer out of sorts, and as it sees you again, just right front and center, it's going to start just flying across the floor towards you again. And as it does, as it kind of moves towards you, Taz, it's going to kind of do this and see if it can reach its tail towards you, Elisar.
No.
If I can't do it. But just kind of picture it sort of going forward towards Taz, but swinging its tail around to try to hit you. So it's going to try to hit you with its tail as it's facing Taz. So with a tail attack, it's a 23 to hit. Okay.
That pretty much hits, yeah.
Okay. All right. So it sees you up on the rubble, and then does 15 points of bludgeoning damage. So just
Okay, now I know. Gotcha.
boom. Taz, right in front of you again. It's going to try to hit you with its tentacles now. There's these 4 tentacles come flying at you.
Okay. Don't forget, it has advantage because I riflessly attacked.
Okay, well, it may not need it. 21 to hit. Does 21 hit for you?
That
Okay.
hits.
21. Ooh. So I. All right, I have to pay attention to this. I didn't really realize that those did this much damage, but maybe not. So we'll see. I felt like okay. So let's see, 25 points of slashing damage.
How many?
25.
Okay.
It's now hit you with its tentacles. And since they've kind of embedded into you, it's going to pull you towards its beak and try to also get you with its beak.
Okay.
I'm going to go back to this other dice, Patrick.
All right.
Because if they 21 hit, then I'm sure 26 hits. So
That'll hit.
So it's piercing damage. Oh, that's not too bad. So 7 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
All the tentacles pull you in, and just the beak just digs into you. It's like its eyes are just glowing. If a creature could rage, that's what you're seeing in its eyes as it looks at you, particularly Taz.
Okay.
All right, you guys can hear me okay?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. All right. Let's see. So that's the attack on Taz. That ends its turn there. Harlan, you're up.
Okay, since I hit last time with Witch Bolt, I get an auto hit this time. Ooh, that's gonna be
Go for
good. Be 20 points of lightning damage.
Ooh, man. Yeah, it just jolts. You can just see it sort of jolt through. It shivers. The electricity just courses through its body. And Gimner, you're up.
Yeah, so when Gimner had set the lantern down against that wall, it's now shining bright light in a 30-foot radius and dim light in 30 feet, and then you got all the shadows from the rocks and stalagmites.
Mm-hmm.
So what Gimner wants to do is he wants to bonus action dash, arcing around that northern wall, around that big boulder, to try to outflank it.
Okay.
And then he's going to launch a psychic blade at it.
Okay, yeah, you definitely are able to kind of get around that edge. You can see it broadside almost.
All right, 17 to hit.
17 misses.
Misses. Oh, man.
So the second blade zooms past.
I got too much shadows.
Yeah, exactly. Elisar, you're
You
up.
peoples are dilating, trying to adjust.
Yeah, the brightness. Well, you've got the Witch Bolt. Like, I'm sure that's throwing off its glow. Yeah. Eldritch Blast. There's a lot going on in here.
Speaking of Witch Bolt, I'm going to cast the one spell I've got.
Okay.
It's going to be Witch Bolt at the creature from behind.
All right.
19.
19 hits.
No. Awesome. Hold please. 9 points of damage of whatever.
Lightning damage.
Yep, there you go.
All right. Yeah. It lights up again. Taz. It's just you are not grappled, but it's sort of dug into you, piercing damage, slashing damage. You're just cut up, but You're right in front of it.
I'm gonna attack it a few more times.
Swing away, Meryl.
Recklessly.
Of course.
Match.
17 misses.
It does.
Okay, that was the first attack. Second attack, 21.
Hits.
All right. That's going to be 8 points of slashing damage.
Okay.
And 3 points of radiant damage.
All right. Oh, hang on. I just messed up my calculation there. All right. That ends your turn.
That ends my turn.
All right, it's sort of, think of a snake. So this tail is sort of flying all over the place. It's a gigantic, well, it's a large creature. So it's going to sling around and try to hit Gimner. It's going to kind of, the tail's kind of slung around. It's going to try to hit you now with its tail. Ooh, ho, ho, ho. A 9.
All right. The shadows worked after all.
Yeah, exactly. Taz is still just right in front of you. It's just going to try to still get you though with its tentacles. And 24.
That hits.
All right. 16. Wow. 27 points of slashing damage.
Alrighty.
Hey.
I know. And then again, since it's got you with its tentacles, it can pull you into its beak.
Hey, Ryan, as you're attacking that time, Wade?
Go ahead.
When I use the Blood Curse of the Eyeless, I have to use it on my turn. It's a reaction. It has
No, you use it now. Now is when you use it.
I'm using it now. And
Okay.
I'm using a Hemocraft die to roll off of the creature's attack this time around. Now, do I roll first?
Yeah.
-4.
So do I roll again, or do I use the roll I just used?
You use the roll you just used.
Okay.
Yeah,
Do you
I
want me
don't
to
know
take-
whether it hits or not.
Okay. It missed. The beak, sort of as it's just Taz's blood is making the tentacles a little bit slippery, and it just sort of the beak attack kind of just missed you, Taz, as it kind of lunged for you. Harlan, you're up.
Harlan's gonna do a witch bolt again.
Go for it.
It's gonna be 16 points to lightning damage this time.
16. Hang on, let me do some quick math here. Ooh. Harlan, how do you want to do this?
All right.
So as this kind of blue lightning comes from my kind of like wand into this creature, it's gonna like shake for a bit,
Yeah.
and then it's gonna fall to the ground, and it's just gonna have like spasms every now and then from like the lightning.
Nice. Just gonna do like. Oh,
Yeah.
that's awesome. It drops you. I mean, Taz. It just sort of collapses right in front of you. Just the thud on the ground as the lightning bolt just courses through it, and it continues to sort of shiver a bit with each pulse of the lightning from the witch bolt. And then it's just quiet in the chamber, just the sound of sort of the dust settling as you stare at this creature in front of you. Congratulations, guys. You made quick work of that. Taz, how are you feeling?
I'm pretty good still.
Nice.
I could use a rest.
Yeah, that's right. What about me? Nobody asked about me.
I've heard to say tough as nails, but
Right. Elisar is like that same, like that poor, I don't want to say ugly because that's not very nice, but I just remember you saying like you didn't have a very high, you weren't very well looked upon in Waterdeep, right? As like sort of a street urchin.
If you remember, I was living in the woods.
Yeah, exactly.
I was basically homeless.
Exactly. All right. Well, you're out now in this chamber. The kind of the fog of war is starting to subside. Anything else you guys want to do in this chamber?
Don't smash any more eggs right now.
I'll get rid of your placeholders here.
oh,
Look around, investigate, recover.
Does someone? I'll search to where the creatures seem to come from. I like to cautiously go and search where it came from. Did it come from a hole in the ground, or was it laying in wait?
Just laying in wait against the far wall. As you kind of go to that far north wall, it's just a solid, you can kind of see that's essentially where it is. And as you kind of walk over there, though, you see a fairly sizable pile of bones and of creatures of all different kind of shapes and sizes, and a few humanoid artifacts. In fact, there's quite a few kind of piles of things if you wanted to rummage through them.
Hey guys, look at this—a pile of rummage and stuff.
Some rummaging.
Rummage, whatever. Let's rummage. Not piles of rummage.
Yeah. As you kind of go through, you can get a sense that this was some sort of a lair, right? So this is where this thing was fed. It was either things were brought to it to eat, or it ambushed things as it went through. So the bones represent all different types of creatures that might have been wandering either through this cavern, coming from somewhere, as well as you can definitely tell there's some orc style leather armor. So the orcs had gotten down here at some point in time. That may explain the wooden barricades. Yeah. That, they weren't necessarily that sophisticated, but they did the trick. You do find a sack of coins.
Right.
There's 22 gold coins and 30 silver coins in this sack.
20 gold, 30 silver. All right.
And there's some other kind of just weapons laying around. There's a short sword.
Anything look? Harlan, you'd helped us before identify some stuff. You want to see if any of this stuff seems kind of magical to you?
Sure, I'll take a look. I'll go
Yeah.
over and check the weapons.
Make an investigation check, Harlan.
Here, that'll be a 16.
You can even just kind of by, sensing, these don't appear to be any sort of magical weapons. There's a short sword, there's a short bow with a few arrows associated with it. There's 2 daggers on the ground, and there's also kind of a javelin, a pretty long javelin. None of them seem magical, but you guys are welcome to decide if you want to add those to your.
I'm going to add the gold pieces and silver to my inventory if you don't mind, gentlemen.
Yeah, go for it.
And who wants the javelin? That seems like it may be cool.
I can take it.
Cool. Gimner, how about you?
Oh no, Gimner's good.
Okay.
He'll make his way back to the lantern.
Okay. Yeah, the lantern is still lit. How long did they stay lit? A couple of hours, or
6 hours on a flask of oil, but I've used it before on this adventure, so we'll say maybe half is
probably
left.
halfway? Probably a few more hours
Yeah.
left in that. Yeah.
Okay. I know what I'd like to do there in those couple of hours.
I'll tell you what, this might be a good time. I know it's a little early, but as you guys sort of decide that you want to recover in this chamber, Elisar, you can take a short rest if you like here.
Would you say long rest?
You can try to take a long rest.
Yeah, I'm actually fine because I have the trance ability. I'm cool.
Okay. Yeah, I actually have something I gotta check on. So let's call it an evening, gentlemen. I know it's a little early. I apologize, but
No worries.
Running a force.
no worries.
Next week, though, right?
Yeah, just try the same time next week, and we shall. It's actually kind of a good stopping point.
Uh-oh.
Not saying anything, but just saying that there's some interesting things going on down here in these chambers. You've defeated this Alpha Grick, or Grick Alpha, and you can still see that there's a kind of an opening on that far east wall there that you can, as you set the lamp down, Gimner, you can definitely see that there's still more tunnel in that direction. So,
do we have time to? Are we taking a short rest in here?
Yeah.
You guys can take a short rest.
Okay.
Yeah, you can take a short rest in here. So you can roll your hit dice if you have any left.
Smoke if you got them.
And with that, we'll see you guys next Wednesday. Let's do 6:30 again. I'm gonna start cooking at 4:00 next Wednesday, so that I'm done. All right, guys. Y'all have a good night. We'll talk to y'all later.
All right. See y'all.
All right, see you guys.
All right.
Great
bye.
to see you guys.
Good to see y'all too.